basically look at novel therapeutics for post-traumatic stress disorder and neurodegenerative disease, mostly based in like we're looking at a lot of plant alkaloids and different like plant-based compounds that may have be able to modulate the endocrine system or the immune system, mostly anti-inflammatory compounds. We're finding that a lot of not us in particular, but science in general is finding that the immune system plays a large role in cognition and psychology and just the function of the nervous system, and can be massively debilitated and damaged in stress. And there's this various positive feedback loops that link the immune system to the deleterious effects of stress. So I particularly work mostly on post-traumatic stress disorder. So far what I've looked at is my projects have involved dimethyltryptamine or DMT, and we've used a combination of DMT and harmaline in our animal models of PTSD to kind of understand how they modulate the immune system and how they may be used as therapeutics in that disorder. And then I've also worked on a project where we're looking at blueberries and the various polyphenols and anthocyanins that they contain. And we've actually found, before I got involved, that the whole blueberry works better than anthocyanins or various polyphenol combinations alone. So some of this data, I can't really talk much about my DMT work. We've also used whole ayahuasca brews that we've just given orally to the rats to look at how they modulate the immune system and cognition and anxiety and stuff like that. But I can't talk much about that because none of it's published. We haven't really worked it all out. But some of the blueberry data has been released to the public, and we found that blueberries actually are capable of increasing serotonin levels without increasing norepinephrine levels, which is a problem that you see with serotonergic drugs like SSRIs, the selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, even ones that are not marketed as selective serotonin and norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors also increase norepinephrine, which makes them possibly dangerous for people with post-traumatic stress disorder who already have high levels of norepinephrine or adrenaline. So interestingly, nice. So if blueberries are capable of increasing serotonin levels to a similar extent without modulating norepinephrine, they may be a interesting therapy for that disorder.
And then you say that they are maybe shown to rebuild cells, like brain cells.
So we haven't got there yet, but basically stress, especially extreme, traumatic stress followed by like a chronic low-grade stress like PTSD, activates this pathway in the brain that leads to apoptosis or programmed cell death. So it's not like the cell just randomly dies like it would if you if it got like injured in some way directly. It's basically like the cell goes under so much stress for so long, the cell commits suicide. It's like, I'm not a good cell, I'm not doing my job, I'm causing more problems than I'm dealing with. So the cell commits suicide to save the brain from that perpetual excitotoxicity that it was involved in. So basically, blueberries are able to inhibit that process through, like other anti-inflammatories and antioxidants may be able to, but just to like a really extreme level. They're able to blueberries are slightly toxic, so they do this thing called hormesis, in which they induce a small amount of stress, which causes the cell to activate stress response mechanisms like antioxidant response elements, and basically it will protect the cell more than the slight amount of toxicity is damaging the cell. So you get an overall kind of like reprogramming of the cellular, stress response system. So
wow. So
we've seen some crazy stuff like modulations to like cortisol levels. Like stress causes a reduction in the so in rats, cortisol, the stress hormone, in humans is called corticosterone. So and these are all glucocorticoids. So the glucocorticoid receptor is lost in extreme stress in some cases, or it's just not lost completely, but it's downregulated. And blueberries we've shown that it modifies that change and a lot of other interesting things. So
wow.